Hi, I'm Dwayne, developer advocate at GitGuardian. In this video, we're going to be taking a walk through the setup and usage of GitGuardian Developer Endpoint Protection. This is the latest advancement to the GitGuardian platform, which scans developer workstations for secrets stored in local files and environment variables. This is now generally available for all business and enterprise customers, so feel free to open your dashboard and follow along at home. You can find a link to the full documentation in the description below. Before we jump to using the feature, let's review why we need it. Over the last year, we've watched a serious acceleration and escalation of supply chain attacks, all aimed at the developer. From the NX Singularity attack to iterations of Shai-Hulud and other self-propagating worms, the operating model has stayed fairly consistent. Infect a package or plugin with info-stealing malware, which searches through the infected machine for any and all credentials, and then simultaneously exfiltrate those secrets to command and control servers while leveraging any and all valid secrets to further publish malware and continue the attack campaign. Most secret security programs start out by asking what leaked into Git, and while that's still an important question, it's only part of the story. Developer workstations are full of credentials that never touch a repo. API keys sit in .env files under home directories, and cloud and SaaS credentials live in various text files all throughout the machine. Now, AI coding assistants and MCP servers create new local caches and configs that security teams normally never even see. GitGuardian Developer Endpoint Protection closes the workstation gap by scanning the machine itself, then safely syncing those findings back into the GitGuardian dashboard for review and remediation. To get started with developer endpoint protection, open your GitGuardian dashboard and navigate to the new Endpoint Protection category in the left-hand sidebar. Click on Endpoints. Here you'll see the steps needed to get endpoint protection up and running. Note that this video only covers manual installation. We also make developer endpoint protection available through MDM deployments for teams leveraging Intune, Eru, Jamf, and other tools. You'll want to engage with our team to ensure a smooth rollout at scale, and we'll be happy to work with you. The first thing we must do is install ggshield. Now here I'm using pipx, but there are many ways you can install ggshield. The repository itself lists instructions for all options and operating systems, including a Docker image. To complete the installation, you'll need to authenticate to GitGuardian using ggshield auth login. Note here I'm using a couple different scopes, but your needs may vary. Running this will open a web auth flow. Click accept, and we should be good to go. I'll link a video below that walks through the installation and authentication of ggshield. Now that we have ggshield up and running, we'll need to install and enable the new machine scan plugin. We can do this with the command ggshield plugin install machine underscore scan. And now, optionally, we can run ggshield plugin list to ensure it's installed, and we look good to go. Now we're ready to do our first machine scan. We'll use the chained commands ggshield machine scan ampersand ggshield machine dashboard. That second chained command will automatically launch a dashboard using localhost. That will let us work with the scan results. This scan recursively looks across the local file system for plain text credentials. That includes shell history, config files, dot files, MCP configs, structured files, archives, and even compressed files. Note, I am showing a real-time scan of my machine here, not sped up at all. Our scanner is extremely fast and efficient, but this process might take a while the first time you run it if you have millions of files on your machine. After that first scan, though, the process is much faster and less compute intensive, as we only scan changes or newly added files. Now that the dashboard is running, let's take a look at our findings. Note the local address here. Nothing has been sent to the GitGuardian Workspace yet. We'll take a look at that next. From our dashboard, we can see several tabs. The first page you'll see by default is the dashboard overview, showing findings organized by severity, validity, and scope. We get a quick snapshot of the top detectors and the findings by source, as well as a list of all recent scan info, including the number of files scanned, how many secrets were found, and how long each scan took to complete. The next tab is findings, organized by severity. You can sort by publicly leaked, showing any secrets which GitGuardian has found published to GitHub public repos and gists, and you can also sort by auto-fixable. If it's possible to redact or revoke secrets safely, then those options will be presented here. Clicking on any of the findings in this list gives us much more information about the secret we found. its location, and even potential paths toward remediation. The other tabs let you see what directories were scanned and the scan history. And finally, Config, which lets you adjust settings for future scans, including allowing you to specify directories to skip when scanning or to implicitly scan every time. I now have the option to clean up anything I want before sending my results to GitGuardian. Any changes made locally will need to be rescanned to update the results before moving forward. For now, though, we're done with the dashboard, so we can end the process and kill the local server back in our terminal with Control C. Finally, we're ready to send the results to the GitGuardian Workspace, which we'll do with the command ggshield machine inventory. Note, the secret value is never uploaded to GitGuardian, neither is the source file. GitGuardian receives the hash, context, and metadata needed for inventory and triage. Now that these results are sent to GitGuardian, let's see what this looks like in the workspace. Here I am using a demo environment where we have data from over 100 endpoints. The real value of developer endpoint protection really shines through when you deploy it across all the machines in your fleet, allowing you to see critical issues and shared credentials, all from the same dashboard. The endpoint secrets view shows us all the secrets we discovered through our scans, with relevant metadata. At the top, you'll see a count of valid or critical secrets, the total number of secrets found, and total valid secrets across only the latest scans. You can sort your findings by validity, number of locations a secret is found in, when detected, severity, and other fields. Of course, you can use filtering to narrow your view as you're triaging these findings. Clicking on any secret listed brings up metadata about that secret in a modal on the right-hand side, showing ownership, context, attribution, and other important data points. Importantly, if any incident from your internal or public secrets monitoring already exists for any of these secrets, you'll see a link at the end of the row that says Go to Incident. Clicking that will take you to the incident view with all relevant information about the incident, including remediation advice. Part of this view is the exploration map, giving you a quick visual guide to help you understand where the secret is, what it's connected to, and the state of that secret, leveraging GitGuardian's NHI governance. The other new menu option you have under Endpoint Protection in the sidebar is Endpoints. This gives you a quick snapshot of the scans run across the last 30 hours, last 7 days, last 30 days, as well as the count of endpoints with critical findings. The list of endpoints is sorted by the number of secrets found via scans. Clicking on an endpoint brings up a list of all incidents directly tied to that endpoint, as well as information about the endpoint itself. Just as before, if an incident already exists around any secrets, you'll see an option to go to that incident. From now on, your dashboard will have these options available. That does it for our overview, but before we finish up, a few final notes. Installing ggshield Machine Scan allows you to scan manually at will. We recommend setting up a cron job or some other automation to do this periodically, though. For those of you who want to automate scheduled scans and even automate the installation and update process for the tooling, developer endpoint scanning can be administered through MDM solutions like Intune, Iru, Jamf, and other tools. Our team would be happy to engage with you to ensure a smooth rollout at scale. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. To reiterate, developer endpoint protection is now available to all business and enterprise customers, and you can get started right now. See links below for more information. GitGuardian Developer Endpoint Protection is just one more way we're helping teams fight secret sprawl at scale.